Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a little dose of reality. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Fins Talk. I'm your host, Steve Molloy, and I want to thank everybody that has joined the show tonight. I welcome you. I just, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I really am. This is a really good time of year for me. I love the OTAs, the mini camps, and the training camp coming up, and all that good stuff. Um, it's just an exciting year for me. We get to see the new players, the new draft class, the free agents we brought in, and some of the older players, and see how they've developed and what they're doing. So it's a great time of year for me as far as football goes. So everybody that's in that chat, I see you there, Finn, Sammy, brother. Thank you for joining tonight. Make sure you all hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, go down there to that bell, hit the subscribe button, share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. And if you're on other platforms that we have, X and others that you're on, come over here to the YouTube channel. Make sure you come join the community here. Subscribe, like, share this again with your friends, your families, your neighbors, and just enjoy the chat with the rest of your Dolphins in this community. And I just want you all to know one thing, and remember, we may not always agree about everything Miami Dolphins, but there's one thing we can agree on is we are all Dolphins. We are all Dolphins. And with that, again, welcome. The show today is going to be kind of like a follow-up from the last show I had with Q from I think it's I Hate Football Podcast or I Hate NFL Football Podcast. So anyway, Q was on here. Make sure you go subscribe to his channel. Finn Sammy's in the house as well. Make sure you subscribe to Finn's TV. Go over there and subscribe to him. He's got some good content on there. He was on the Finn's Faithful podcast, my buddy George, the other night. Really good conversation with Jason Sarney, him, and there was one other young man that was on there. I can't remember his name, forgive me, but they were making some good, valid points on things that are happening within our community, within our Dolphins community. The beef between I guess the media, the beat writers, and the content creators, the podcasters like me and others like Finn Sammy and Finn's Faithful podcast and TD Finn's Talk and others, you know, and which I don't normally try to get involved in any of that. My show is what it is. I give you my opinions, my takes, how I see things, and I'm honest as much as I can be as far as the Miami Dolphins football goes. I kind of keep it real and genuine, and I say what I feel, and that's it. Some folks love it, some folks don't like it. I've been called hater, I've been called to a hater, I've been called negative, I've been called everything in the book. But you know what, I don't care, because I'm this is my hobby. This is what I like to and enjoy doing, and I have a passion for this Miami Dolphins football. I've been a fan since 1969. And so I've seen a lot of Miami Dolphins football, and I've seen a lot of players come and go. And so I'm no football guru. I'm just a Miami Dolphins passionate fan. And I don't portray to be anything else. No expert in any other field, in football. I'm not a position expert. I'm not a coach expert. You know, I don't know all the X's and O's. I'm still learning. I learn every day. I learn, every day that the NFL football evolves, right? It doesn't stay the same. It's always changing. So I'm always changing with the flow of the NFL, right? I'm always learning. And that's why I have a lot of guests on here that are more knowledgeable than I am. They know football, the ins and outs of football. I've had ex-coaches on here, I've ex-college football players on here, and they know more than I do. I learn from them. So I take all that in and I absorb all that knowledge, all that information, and then I form my own opinion. And that's what I do. And that's why I call it Real Talk Fins Talk. And to go back on the media bit about the beef and all that stuff. Well, one of the reasons why I became a podcaster, right? And I named my show Real Talk Fins Talk. Because number one, I like to keep it real. I like to be honest, and I just tell you how I see it. And I'm not here to blow your head up. I'm not here to fill you up with hopium. I'm not here to, I'm not a hopium pusher. I'm not a hype kind of guy. Um, and I'm just going to give you my honest takes and in my honest opinions. And right now, this very moment, you've got the Miami Dolphins propaganda machine. Whether it's the beat writers, whether it's the media department of the Miami Dolphins organization or whatnot, national media, hey, even podcasters. You got some propagandists out here, right? That are pushing hopium and all this kind of stuff. Okay, even podcasters. Okay, so we're not immune to that. That's why I want to keep my show real. I'm just being honest. I'm not here to push any hopium or any of that, propaganda or anything like that. So I just wanted to get that straight with you all. I am what I am, like Popeye, right? I am what I am. So that's the deal with me. Um, yeah, keeping it real, brother. That's it. DSG label for sure. Keeping it real, brother. And I respect all opinions, you know, and that's the way it should be. It's just a game. When you boil it all down, it's just a game. It's just a football game. This isn't my life, right? This is part of my life. This is just a little tiny bit of my life that some enjoyment that I like. Some entertainment is for me. But anyway. So we've got OTAs. The Miami Dolphins was their first day of OTA today. Veterans, rookies, they came in. It wasn't voluntary. I mean, it was voluntary. Excuse me. It was voluntary. It wasn't mandatory. I believe in June they'll be having some mandatory towards the end of June. Some mandatory. OTAs and things like that. And then, of course, then it goes into the training camp. And I do get excited and hyped with these, myself. I get excited and all hyped up with these OTAs and the mini camps and all that and training camp. But you know what? What I like the most, what I think is more meaningful, where you can truly evaluate the team on both sides of the ball, football, offense, are the joint practices. I think that is one of the best things that's ever happened in the NFL, these joint practices. Because you play the same, you're going up against the same players every day, right? You're going up the same folks every day. You're running the same plays. You know what the defense is running. You know what the offense is running. You don't get to see a lot of different looks from different teams and play against different players and all that kind of stuff. And that's where you really learn football, right? Along with the development with the coaching and learning the techniques and mechanics and all that kind of stuff. But when you actually go out there and you get in that ring, I call it the ring. When you get in that arena, right? And all those drills and all the practices and all that, that's when you're really going to learn, right? When you're playing against other teams, other players, folks you've never seen before. You don't know what their tendencies are, and you don't know what plays they like to run the most, things like that. That's where you learn and grow. So that's why I like the joint practices. Hi, Mr. Success. How you doing, brother? And also I saw Kenna was in here. I can't forget my brother Kenna and Cat for Life. The Cat Report is in here as well, man. Appreciate you all for joining. You could be anywhere else but here, but you're here. You've joined the channel and you're listening to me rant. So I appreciate it, man. It's a privilege to do this. It really is. It really is. But anyway, so that's my take on the joint practices. I think they are very meaningful for the players and the team and the organization. Uh, the acceptable the acceptable air pressure for an NFL football team is between 12.5 pounds per square inch (psi). The range ensures a consistent feel and performance for all teams. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Frozen Fin fans in here. Make sure you go check his channel out. He's got a really good channel. He's up and coming. Make sure you go check him out and make him feel part of the community, okay? This isn't an easy gig, getting up here and voicing our opinions or however we do it, whatever we do up here, it's not easy, and so I appreciate all podcasters. But Kenna was in here. I saw Kenna. Love to see Kenna in here. I've seen him on other podcasts, and he's always has some good points and things as well, and as well as in here too. So anyway, yeah. So OTAs have started, and let me give you the schedule. Let me give you the up and coming schedule here for the OTAs and all that kind of stuff. I got it right here. Let me see if I can find it for you all. Yeah. So the up and coming Miami Dolphins OTAs, and these are also is the minicamp dates as well. So today, what is today? Today is the 27th. So May 27th, of course, we are today. So that's started today. OTA started today. The 29th, the 30th of May, and then June 2nd, they have another one, June 3rd, June 5th, and June 10th to June 12th. I think June 10th to June 12th are mandatory OTAs, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. If anybody knows, let me know in the chat. I appreciate it. But those are the dates. Those are the dates. And then Frozen Fin fans Super Bowl. Yeah. Okay. Hey, possible, right? Anything's possible, but with this Miami Dolphins at present is not probable, but it's possible. Um so we got a roster move today. And we have our first injury of the training camp or OTAs for this year, and that's Jason Matre, who was the cornerback that showed some promise last year. And he's hurt. He's been put on injured reserve, and we have acquired cornerback Ryan Cooper Jr. Ryan Cooper Jr. He was here. I think we acquired him from waivers um, this year. So, and then we let him go, and now he's back again because of the injury to Maitre. So, or Maitre or Matre, I don't know how to pronounce his name. So that's that. And then before I get to the main topic tonight, I wanted to talk about was the formula for the Miami Dolphins to compete this year. I wanted to. This was talking about beat reporters and things like that. This was a really good. Hey, Finn's Faithful Podcast. Make sure you go subscribe to them. George is on here. Appreciate you, George, coming by. You had a great show the other night with Finn, Sammy, and Jason and yourself. Really good show the other night. This was an article. It's in the SI.com, and it's by maybe some of you are familiar with Dante Colonelli. Dante Colonelli. He had a really good article in here, and it was titled 10 Players to Watch During the Miami Dolphins OTAs. And I agree with him on most part with a lot of these. And I'll just start with the first one. And it's going from 10 to 1. Okay. So it's going in reverse order. Storm Duck. Cornerback Storm Duck. Totally agree. That's someone that we need to keep an eye on because of our look, we just had an injury, right? Matre, Jason Matre. And also, Ethan Bonner got the orange jersey today along with Jalen Phillips. Now, does that really mean anything? Sure, it means in training camp it may mean something, but hey, Liam Eichenberg has gotten the orange jersey as well before, so if take it for what it's worth. But he did get the orange jersey today along with Jalen Phillips. So Storm Duck, yeah. So it's possible with the departure of Jalen Ramsey that Storm Duck is going to be one of our starting cornerbacks along with Cam Smith. Now, they're not, none of these guys are locked in. There's going to be a battle, even the safeties. There's going to be battle with, Ashton Davis, Malavawu, and you got McMorris back there. Elijah Campbell's also fighting for that safety position as well. So those are some battles to watch this year. But for sure, Storm Duck. And then at 9 he has Austin Jackson. I agree. Austin Jackson. Why? He's coming off an injury. He's coming off an injury. Now, look, I'm not a big fan of Austin Jackson, as a player on that right side, right, as an offensive tackle, but he is the starter, and we got to keep an eye out on him because he seems to get get injured a lot. So let's keep an eye out on him, right? And then of course, we got Jonah Savanaya, offensive guard that we drafted. Another one we need to keep an eye out on, right? Let's see how he does. Is he all hyped up? Is he hyped up to be what they say he is? I don't know. You know, um, but he's part of that chemistry, that ingredient that's in that bowl, that secret sauce, that chemistry, right? We got to get that chemistry with him. He's a rookie. We got to get him in right away with those. If he's going to be the starter, as they already basically said, then we need to get him in there right away and get that chemistry going with whoever those starters are, right? I'm assuming it's, James Daniels, Sabanea, the two guards, Brewer is our center. It's a lock. Austin Jackson, and then of course Patrick Paul. So get it. And speaking of Patrick Paul, he's on this list as well. He's a guy we got to keep an eye on. See, I don't expect him to be Terran Armstead, right? I don't expect him to be Terran Armstead, but he's got to come on this year, right? He's got to play better than he did his rookie year. I know there's a small sample size and we didn't get to see him a lot. I will say this. He held his own pretty good against Daniel Hunter and Will Anderson when they played against Houston. I know we lost that game. I was at that game, but he held his own pretty well. Yeah, he got beat a few times. Yes, sure he did. But look who he was playing against. But he held his own for the most part for a rookie. So I got to give him kudos for that, right? Yeah, I hope you're right, Mr. Success. We have the next Pinel Sewell. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm bad with names. But yeah, I hear you, brother. And we got Bobby Finn's Talk is in the house. How's it going, Bobby? Appreciate you for joining, brother. Thank you for all you do for the Finn's Talk Sports Network. Also, let me make mention real quick here before I go on. We also have I didn't create it. Bobby Finn's Talk did. Bobby, he created another channel for us. If it's called Finn's Talk Extra. Finn's Talk Extra. And I don't know all the particulars, but I know there's going to be some. I will be on the same network, the Finn's Talk Sports Network. I have another show in the works. I'm not going to actually tell you what it is, but it's nothing football related. But I have another show in the works, and I would be part of that Finn's Talk Extra channel. So make sure you look out for that. Bobby had his first show the other day on that channel. You might want to go back and check that out. Okay. So he has created another channel, and that's going to be for like entertainment and different things. So he'll probably let you know more than he can let you know more of that than I can. But I just wanted to let you all know that we are going to have another channel coming up. Mr. Success says, "Can I get a channel, Bobby?" All right. With a name like Mr. Success, I don't see why not, Bobby. I mean, but yeah, so getting back to what I was talking about, I know I got off track, but yeah, so at number 6 we got I said Patrick Paul. We got number 6 we got Ashton Davis, right? Safety. So we just acquired him from the Jets. Again, he wasn't a starter. He played a lot of special team snaps. He had 8 interceptions in the years that he's played. I think it's like 4 or 5 years. Um, he seems to be kind of that to me. I haven't seen a lot of film on him and stuff, but what I have seen, he seems to be kind of one of them impact players, right? Kind of a ball hog type of guy. So maybe if he can come in here and start and play full time and be that guy, um, we desperately need that on our defense because that was one of the areas we struggled on last year when it came to defense. I know we had a top 10 defense, but we struggled on turnovers big time. Interceptions, sacks, all that. We struggled. So we definitely need someone like that on if he can continue to maintain that kind of ball hog type of play. And number 5, our backup quarterback, Zach Wilson. Let's see what he does, right? He can't be worse than Skylar Thompson, right? Or Taylor Huntley, or Tim Boyle, or Pat, or not Pat. I was going to say Pat White, or um, White. I can't remember his first name now to save the life of me. That we had as backup quarterback. So I think that's all we had to come in last year, right? Those guys. Yeah. So let's see. Let's keep an eye out on Zach Wilson. What is he gonna? Are they gonna give him a lot of snaps? Enough snaps, right, to make a difference if say our quarterback Tua Tagovailoa goes down. Is he going to make an impact, right? Look, I don't expect him to come in here and let's say Tua's down 6 games. I don't expect him to win all 6 games. Okay? If he comes in and wins all 6 games, then he should be a starter, right? He's a backup. If he can win 2 or 3 out of 6 games, man, that's all you can expect from a backup. And no more than that, really. I mean, Tyler Huntley had played 5 games last year and he won 2. 2 out of 3 he won. So, I mean, maybe he can win 4, 4 of the 6. That would be awesome. But time will tell. And then a fourth guy we got is on here on this list is Kenneth Grant. I know everybody's hyping him up. Oh man, he's a monster. Oh, he's gonna do this. Oh, he's the next Aaron Donald. That's what I'm saying. Nobody I've heard say that, but anyway, you get the point. And the guy hasn't even taken an NFL snap yet. Okay, can we at least watch him play in some joint practices? 1 or 2 joint practices that are coming up. I think we're playing Chicago, Detroit, and there's another one I don't remember right now. Can we at least see that when they got some pads on and there's a little contact in joint practices? Can we at least see that? And that not only Kenneth Grant, but all of these rookies, any of these guys. Okay, we got a bad habit of fans. I've done it a lot myself. Hype these guys up. Oh, he's going to be a monster. Oh, this guy's he's the next best thing since sliced bread, and then only to get disappointed. So let's just keep things in perspective. These are rookies. Rookies. All right, number 3, Julian Hill. Yes, Julian Hill has a fight on his hands, a battle on his hands, right? He is going. We got Pharaoh Brown. We've got Jono Smith, Rucci, right? We got Tanner Connor, and there's someone else, right? I think that. Oh, and then the undrafted tight end Conyers from Texas. That tight end supposed another guy. It's getting hyped up. Supposed to be a good blocker and good receiver. So Julian Hill is at least according to Terran Armstead is one of the best blockers on the team. He was one of the best blockers on the team, and he said he expected a coming out of Julian Hill this year. So we'll see. We'll see. He's on this list. He's on the hit list. No, he's not on the hit list, but he's on that watch list, right? We gotta watch and see what happens there in the tight end position. Is going to be another interesting battle. Bradley Chubb, yes, coming off injury. Bradley Chubb, right? Is he the same? Is he going to come back at 100%? When is he going to start? Is he going to start the season along with Jalen Phillips, another guy that's been hurt, right? 2 years in a row. Is he going to be at 100%? Are they going to push him in the lineup like they did last year? And then even when he did come in, he was playing part-time, right? He was in a rotation. And then of course, the one and only Cam Smith. Cam Smith is on the hot seat. At least he is with me. He better show something. He better show that he can play, or he might get beat out by one of these other guys. Ethan Bonner or Isaiah Johnson, or one of those guys that we have on there, right? So, all right. So, getting to the meat and potatoes, all right, of the show. I did a show last week with Q, right, of I Hate Football podcast, and I had a bowl, put all the ingredients in the bowl, right, and at the end, I said, "All right," and then we can put it in the oven, bake it, whatever, or cook it on the stove, whatever. Right after we put all those ingredients and everything in there, then we put that secret sauce on top. That secret sauce is the chemistry. That's what I said. Now, what I didn't elaborate on was that chemistry is not going to make you a better football team. Okay? That's not what's going to make you a better football team. You need chemistry for sure. Chemistry starts now, today, right? With the rookies and the veterans talking to each other, communicating to each other, edifying each other. Hey, you need to do this or you need to do that. Maybe it's better to do it this way. Then you got the development, right? You got the coaches, the development piece, helping develop these rookies and stuff that are coming in, right? And also getting the chemistry right with the players, right? Getting the right players in position where they need to be and all that kind of stuff. All the basics, right? That's what we need. But what's really going to make what's really going to make this football team a competitive team is the formula that they put together, that these coaches formulate, right? They put it together, and mainly Anthony Weaver, Mike McDaniel. They have got to put the formula together. They have got to create, right, a formula for each and every individual player on the team, right? And the formula last year, that at least on the offensive side of the ball, and I got to say, even though I liked the defense, I liked Anthony Weaver, I like what he did on that side of the ball, we played against a bunch of bad teams, right? That, okay, the defense was 10, but was it really 10, right? Was it really ranked 10? And some areas he did well. The line, but he had Calais Campbell, right? And he didn't have the two edge rushers; they were hurt, so he made do without those, All right. He did really well with that. Linebacker core played pretty well, solid. This year is going to be a very big challenge because he's got the rookie, right? Then he's got that mess in the backfield, the defensive backfield with the safeties and the cornerbacks. Okay. What formula is he going to put together for those guys back there for the whole defense? Okay. Last year, as far as the defense goes, Anthony Weaver played zone 60% of the time. 60% of the time. Okay. Is he going to, with those guys that he has back there, those defensive backs and those cornerbacks, is he going to play zone? Is he going to play more man? Is he going to do a mix? Right? Of course he's going to do a mix, right? But what is going to be the predominant formula is he going to use? Is he going to use the zone again? I don't know. So he's got to create something there for those individual players, whoever they're going to be as starters, right? He's got to figure that out. And not just him, but the other assistant coaches along with him, Clark, the offensive line coach, defensive line coach, those guys, right? He's got a rookie that he has to develop. He has to, you know, formulate something for him, a plan for him and Jordan Phillips and Zeke Biggers if he makes the team, right? So he's got to formulate a plan for those guys. That was the plan last year, and it worked for the most part. Okay, it worked for the most part as far as the defense goes. But there's some things that they need to improve on, and I went over that. I've gone over this before. Takeaways, sacks, pressures on the quarterback, those kind of things, right? Turnovers, creating turnovers. All right. So he's got to work on that. That's the formula for the defense. I think even though we have a rookie defense of tackle in Kenneth Grant and Jordan Phillips, and it's going to be part of that rotation, I'm sure. I think I think our defensive line will be okay. I'm not saying it's going to be a great defensive line. Okay, let's be real. This is a rookies. These are 2 or 3 rookies we're going to have playing on this defensive line. But my concern is the defensive backfield, right? What formula does he put together for those guys? Last year it kind of worked, other than turnovers and that kind of stuff. That is going to be the formula for sex on the defense, are those turnovers. Got to create turnovers, got to create more sacks, got to put pressure on the quarterback. That's the formula for the defense. Okay. That is the winning formula for this defense. Now, it's got to go hand in hand with the offense. Now, the offensive formula last year didn't work. It didn't work. And now you've got Tyreek Hill. His goal is 2,000 yards again. He's going to have a breakout season. He's going to get 2,000 yards. That's not a formula for a winning team. We've done that already. We've done that already. Expect us to be over 500. Expect us to be over 500 by week 5. Okay. Cap. Man, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I haven't really looked at the schedule that way. I mean, I've made a prediction on where we're going to be as far as the record, but I didn't really go to where we're going to be at mid-season, if we're going to be 500 or above. I didn't do that. That's a good one to do, though. I'll have to look at that schedule again. But anyway, so the offensive formula last year really didn't work. In the formula with Tyreek Hill, we've already done that, and it didn't work. It hasn't worked. Okay? So Tyreek can talk all he wants. If McDaniel and Tua go along with this crap and they're walking on eggshells because Tyreek says he wants 2,000 yards, that's not going to be a successful offense this year, in my opinion. We've tried this before. Okay. Now we want to use the excuse that he was injured and he hurt his hand. Okay, go ahead and use that. I'm not. He was on the field. He's on the field. Then he should be able to play. No excuses. Period. You're on the field. That's on you. You made the decision to go on the field and to play injured. Well, was that the best decision you made for the team? Maybe you should have said, maybe I'll take this year off, get my wrist, get the surgery and all that stuff. Maybe miss this year and let these other guys step up or something, right? I don't want to hear it. Oh, I was hurt. No, man, you were on the field. And then at that, you quit. The last game of the season. Now, I know we weren't in playoff contention and all that kind of crap. I understand that. But you're playing with your brothers, man, and you let them down. Okay? You jumped when that ship started sinking, you jumped off. And you let your brothers drown. You let your brothers drown and drown down. You let them down and you let them drown. I don't respect that. I'm sorry. And now you expect me to believe that everything is hunky dory now? And you're gonna have a great year and everything's really, kumbaya and all this kind of stuff, right? You expect me to believe that? And as Cap said, if we aren't above 500 by the 5th game of the season and we're at 500 or below, you don't think Tyreek's going to speak up? He's going to say something? Especially if he's not getting the ball. I don't think it had anything to do with his injury, the reason why we weren't getting the ball last year. I think that the whole plan was with Mike McDaniel was, no, we're going to throw some short to intermediate passes. Intermediate if we can, but we're going to throw short passes. I saw it all year. And if you go back and watch some of these games or watch the tape and stuff, I'm sure you see it as well. Tyreek was open on a lot of plays. Waddle was open on a lot of plays. The ball didn't get to him. Tua didn't even look over there. Wide open, running free. So that I'm thinking the whole plan was just to throw those short check down passes. Right? Try something different. I think that's what they did last year, and it didn't work. So now that formula doesn't work. So what formula is going to work for them this year to compete? Mr. Success says Weaver definitely wants a secondary tall, long, and physical. Yeah, that's what it appears to me as well, Mr. Success. I agree 100%, man. I agree 100%. But anyway, so what is the formula for success, man? Mr. Success, what is the formula? No pun intended. No, I think the Miami Dolphins are going to have to be more of a balanced offense this year. Okay? Because we weren't balanced last year. We've never really been balanced, right? And what I mean by balanced is I don't mean, 50-50, 50 pass, 50 run. No, I don't mean that. I mean, we've got to be able to run at the appropriate times, like short yardage. We've got to be able to run against these good teams, to close the game, right? To keep the ball on the ground and close the game and then surprise them with an intermediate pass or a long pass. That's what I mean. Okay? And yes, I believe we do have to throw some long balls this year, right? We need to keep that defenses, all those defenses we're playing against, good defenses this year, mind you, a lot of good defenses. We need to keep them on their toes. We need to keep them on their toes. We need to keep them backing up, man. We need to keep them, guessing. What are we going to do? Are we going to run that ball up the middle, outside zone? Are we going to throw a short pass? Are we going to throw a long pass? We didn't have that last year. Last year was all short, run sometimes, all short. Very few, even very few intermediate passes last year as well. Uh, See what Mr. Success says. Balanced offense with a diverse run scheme. Fix the short yardage, and we're good. Tua can run a legit RPO. Yeah, that'd work. That's kind of what I'm getting at, right? I'm kind of getting at that as well. Is Tua, not along with throwing the deep passes, got to keep those, whether they're incomplete or whatnot. As long as they're not interception, we're good. But you got to go for those long passes every once in a while, even if he's not open. Throw it out of bounds. At least keep them on their toes. Yes, if you have to throw a check down, throw the check downs. I get it. But you got to be able to do all three of those or four. Long pass, intermediate, check down, run. You have to have more of a balanced offense. If it's even if it's a 55, 55 45, 55 pass, 45 run. Good. I'm good with that. Okay? And to get to Mr. Success's point, all right, as far as a formula, Tua Tagovailoa, no, I'm not asking him to run. I'm not saying that. We know he's not the mobile. Now, he was mobile in the past, but because of injuries and things like that, I think he kind of is gun shy about that now, right? And he should be. Okay, he should be. If the last resort, he needs to run the last resort. And then if he does run, he needs to learn to slide and not go head first. Okay, into a body. Okay, he's not a fullback. He's not a Josh Allen. He's not a Derrick Henry. Okay, let's just forget about your ego and all this and your warrior mentality. Just slide. But anyway, he needs to get out of the pocket more. He needs to get out of the pocket more. Instead of staying in that pocket with those quick passes like he's been doing, zip, zip, right? He needs to roll out to the right, roll out to the left, right? He needs to be a little more creative in back of that pocket this year. Okay, he has to be. He has to be. That is the formula for success for the Miami Dolphins in the 2024 year, at least to be competitive. Okay, and in my mind, that is success. If Miami Dolphins are 8-9, 9-8, hell, even 7-10, they're on the right track for me. Okay? Hey, if they go to the playoffs, win a wild card game or win a playoff game or whatever, all the better. I'm all for that, man. I'm a Dolphins fan, man. That's what I want. That's what I want. But with this present team, the way that it's constructed, with all the influx of the rookies and the free agents, and the team has gone from old to younger. Okay, I'm looking more 2 to 3 years down the road for me. Of course, I want them to be competitive. Of course, I want them to go to the playoffs. Of course, I would love for them to win, as Finn's Frozen Finn fan saying, Super Bowl. I'd love that. But realistically, I don't see it. I do not see that. But what I do see, and my hope is that they are competitive. They can win 8, 9 games. And I want to see them going in the right direction for a change, right? I want to see them with a good draft picks next year. I want to see them have a great draft next year again, right? This year I think they did well in the draft in my opinion. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm right. I hope I'm right and not wrong, right? But I just want to see them going in the right direction. So we are building something, that's going to progress as opposed to go backwards, right? Because that's what's been happening the last 3 years. Think about it. We've This offense especially has gone down and down and down. And then this year, I'm hoping it levels off. I'm hoping that it levels off this year. I don't want to see them go down again another notch. If anything, I want them to go up a notch or half a notch or level. Just stay where they're at, 8, 9. To me, that will be a successful season for the Miami Dolphins because I can see their trajectory. I can see their trajectory. And I have no high expectations for the Miami Dolphins this year. I'm a guy, okay, and I know I get a lot of flack for this. People call me negative. Call me negative. I don't care. I really don't. Because what I do is I expect the worst and I hope for the best. That way, if the best happens, I'm elated. I'm happy. If the worst happens, I expected it. And I'm not so down in the dumps on my team. I'm not so bummed out because I expected it. But I'm not going to sit here and hype this team up, throw out a bunch of propaganda, feed you all hopium when I don't believe that. So that's where I stand for the 2025 season with the Miami Dolphins. I'm expecting the worst, hoping for the best, and that's the formula for the Miami Dolphins to compete this year. That's what I want to see. Along with those 10 names that were on that list, I'm going to keep an eye out on those folks as well, on those players. Uh Mr. Success says Tua can manipulate defenders with his eyes and ball fakes. The aspect of his game is magnified when the threat of the run is real. No, that's 100% correct. Tua is a master at the at manipulating defenders. Sure, he really is. He really is. Okay, but that's one of the tell signs of our quarterback, of our offense. When he manipulates his eyes to one side, a lot of times the defenders know he's going to the other opposite side. So that game of manipulation with his eyes, it works. When it works great. When it doesn't work, it doesn't look good at all. So, and I know he's going to continue to do that. Um, let's see what Elwood said. Hey, Elwood, how you doing, brother? Thank you for joining, man. You're such a loyal uh, fan here in the chat. I appreciate it, man. We went 8-9 with Liam and Jones. Tua hurt, old, Fuller concussion. Ramsey average, poor safety play, and Jack Bailey will be better in 2025. Look, everybody's all down on Jalen Ramsey. Now that he's leaving and he's spoken up and said he doesn't like mediocrity and all that stuff, now everybody's all saying, "Oh, he was terrible last year." Jalen Ramsey played at a high level most of the year. Sure, he got injured a little bit and banged up, and he had some bad games. Who doesn't have bad games? but it's not like he was, played like a backup or just an average player. He played good and at times really good. And then other times he had a bad game. But we're going to miss him for sure. Shake Money, what's up, brother? Make sure you guys check out Shake Money and the Finn's Tailgate. He's got another good podcast, man. All these guys coming through here on Real Talk Finn's Talk. Appreciate everyone that's joined the chat. But yeah, so that's my take on Ramsey there. Now you said Liam and Jones. Yeah, I agree with Liam Eichenberg. Okay, and I'm gonna have something to say about that. And Robert Jones. Yeah. Do we have any evidence that Jonas Savaiinaea is going to be better than Liam Eichenberg or Robert Jones at this point? No, we don't have any evidence of that. So to say that our O-line is going to be better or whatnot, or we did this with these guys and with those guys, that's just all speculation, man. There's no truth to that. There's no evidence of that. Okay. No, not even a sample size with that yet. So I don't go for all the hype of all these players and say they're going to be this and they're going to be that. And I haven't even seen them play yet. That's just me. But anyway, Jake Bailey, I don't think Jake Bailey's going to be our punter next year, is he? Elwood? Didn't we get a new punter in? Mr. Success. Mr. Success says, didn't you hear he's a Samoan? Yeah, I did. Look, I'm not saying I don't like the guy. I'm just saying that I haven't seen any evidence, where he's going to be all this yet. Okay, we haven't even seen him play one snap. Come on. We've done this with Liam Eichenberg. We've done it with Noah Iganam, whatever his name is, Iggy, and all those guys, other players that we've had on here. And Deion Jordan, and what happened? We're always putting the cart before the horse, man. But anyway, so that's my take as far as how I feel Miami Dolphins will compete. That's the formula, in my opinion, but we'll see how that goes. But guys, I want to thank you for joining the show tonight. I really appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. And let me see what Shake Money said here before I sign off. Just like the people that hate too, I think every backup is going to replace him. It's the same thing with Eichenberg. Yeah, 100%. Good point. Good point, Shake. Yeah, no problem, Mr. Success. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much for joining, and I really appreciate you coming in here. I love your comments. I love all of your comments, and you seem to be a regular here now lately, and I appreciate that, man. But thanks, guys, for joining the show tonight. I appreciate it. I'm just excited for the OTAs coming up. I'm keep an eye out on those guys that I mentioned, those 10 players. Let's see how they do, and hopefully they pan out. That's going to be the key to us being competitive, as well as these rookies got to pan out, the free agents got to pan out. Anthony Weaver's got to get that. He's got to do something with that defensive backfield, man. He's got to make lemonade again this year. He's got to. I think a key is this defense this year. The key is going to be this defense this year as well. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks, guys. God bless. And remember, Dolphins #1, baby. Dolphins #1.